The background and context of the presidential election runoff in Turkey and why it is important for Turks abroad to vote. Turkey is a country of 85 million people that lies at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. It is a NATO member and a key ally of the US in the region. It also has a long history of democracy and secularism, but also faces challenges such as economic crisis, geopolitical tensions, human rights issues and authoritarian tendencies. On May 15, 2023, Turkey held its presidential and parliamentary elections, which were seen as a critical test for the future of the country. The presidential race was especially tight, as no candidate was able to receive 50% of the vote in the first round. This means that the vote will go to a runoff election on May 28, between the incumbent president Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his challenger Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. Erdogan is the leader of the Justice and Development Party, AKP, a conservative, Islamic-rooted party that has been in power since 2002. He has been praised for bringing economic growth and stability to Turkey in his early years, but also criticized for eroding democratic institutions, cracking down on dissent, pursuing an aggressive foreign policy and mishandling the pandemic and the currency crisis. Kılıçdaroğlu is the leader of the Republican People's Party, CHP, a secular, social democratic party that is the main opposition force in Turkey. He has formed an alliance with 5 other parties from across the political spectrum, ranging from nationalists to Kurds to liberals. He has promised to bring change and reform to Turkey, restore its relations with its allies, respect human rights and the rule of law, and revive the economy. The runoff election is expected to be very close, as both candidates have strong bases of support but also face challenges in attracting undecided voters and those who voted for other candidates in the first round. One of those candidates is Sinan Ogan, a far-right nationalist who came in third with 5% of the vote. He is seen as a potential kingmaker who could sway the outcome of the election depending on whom he endorses. This is why it is important for Turks abroad to vote in this election. According to official figures, there are more than 6 million Turkish citizens living outside Turkey, mostly in Europe. They have the right to vote at Turkish consulates or polling stations set up by Turkish authorities in their host countries. They began voting on May 20th and will continue until May 23rd. Turks abroad could make a difference in this election, as they represent about 8% of the total electorate. In some countries, such as Germany, France, and Belgium, they outnumber the margin of difference between Erdogan and Kılıçdaroğlu in Turkey. Their votes could also reflect their views on issues such as migration, integration, identity, and security that affect them as well as their homeland. The runoff election on May 28 will be a historic moment for Turkey and its people. It will determine whether Erdogan will continue his 2-decade rule or whether Kılıçdaroğlu will bring a new era of change and reform. It will also shape Turkey's role in the world and its relations with its allies and neighbors. That is why every vote counts, especially those of Turks abroad who have a stake in their country's future.